Hey nerds!
Back at it again. I don't do the same old bit.
Nice enthusiasm there.
Thanks everyone. This is the week after we announced the winners of our Venture Brothers giveaway. So congrats, Johnny. I know everyone might hear us on the thing constantly.
Congratulations, Johnny.
But we did do the random, completely random.
It was very impartial.
Johnny won.
We flipped a coin several times.
Yeah, we just did a series of coin flips. And that's it.
Yeah. So let Caleb know that if you would prefer the digital code or the physical
I'll message
disc.
him. Yeah, like I was going to message him. But, or I already messaged him. Because we're filming this one a little bit early.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, though, right now, at the start of the episode. Let us know. Pause the video. Or you don't have to pause the video. You can just go to your comments. Let us know what you want us to give away. Because we're thinking about doing another one when we hit 400.
Oh, we are? This is news to me.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely we are. Well, I figure we'll do 400, 500.
We're gonna go for 6 entries this time instead of 4.
Mm-hmm. And
honestly, to those of you who did take the time to enter into our contest, thank you. You are
from the bottom of our Ron Swanson hearts.
You are, we don't get like a ton of views on our pods, but we have over 300 subscribers, and you 4 are the only ones that decided to even try at all. So honestly, thank you.
On our side channel, we have like millions of subscribers. Okay. But on this one, we're trying to get this one going, guys.
Yeah,
trying to get
real.
this one. Old Dads. We just watched it.
Yes, you watched it last night.
And
I watched it last night also, I guess. Or when did you watch it?
I watched it the day it came out.
Okay, so you watched it on Friday. I guess the 20th. And I watched it on the 21st. So
it's important to note, though, good comedies don't come out often.
Okay.
Like, it's usually, like, people trying to be too PC. It's really hard to have, like, good, funny... I don't want to say offensive comedy, but offensive comedy where they just don't give a crap about people's feelings.
Okay.
To me is funny. Tropic Thunder, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's Tropic Thunder was done in
the obligatory Tropic Thunder reference from Caleb.
And so basically, like, even Beer Fest, like, funny movies can be offensive and also funny, and that's part of what makes them offensive. And I would argue, Blazing Saddles, one of your favorites, right?
Yeah.
It's offensive. It's designed to be that way because it's designed to challenge people's expectations. I can
see how racist people would find that movie offensive.
Well, okay, yeah. So basically, when I saw the trailer, I was watching the trailer
for Old Dads.
For Old Dads.
Okay.
When I saw the trailer for Old Dads, I was on YouTube and I was just watching random videos, getting mad that ads kept popping up.
Okay.
And that one popped up, and I stopped because I was like, Bill Burr, they're doing a new comedy? What's this? And as it progressed, I was like, oh man, that looks pretty good. Like, I thought it looked interesting.
Real quick side tangent. I use YouTube enough to where I actually want to pay for it to never see ads. So
is it worth it?
So yeah, it's worth it to me. You
don't have to watch ads?
I probably watch at least an hour or so every day.
I literally am like leaned back in the chair, just chilling, hands on my head, watching. And as soon as I get comfortable, ad, and I'm like, God damn it! And I gotta lean forward and hit skip.
So if you're really super butthurt about YouTube blocking ad blockers, I don't know what to tell you. It sounds like you're watching YouTube a shitload anyway, so you should probably just pay for it.
You talking to me?
Are you complaining about them blocking ad blockers?
I don't do that. I don't know ad blockers. I don't play with that. I don't play with that computer shit. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I just edit.
There's a lot of people butthurt that YouTube is blocking ad blockers, and so if you continue to use ad blockers, YouTube will stop you from watching YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, I guess they can.
But it's their website, so you do you, YouTube. YouTube you.
So anyways, Bill Burr, what were you saying?
Basically, I want to hear your thoughts on the movie.
I did not enjoy the movie.
At all?
I'm not going to say it was bad, but I did not enjoy it. I only laughed out loud one time.
What was the part, though?
It was
was it in the car?
No. It was when the
vaping.
It was when Connor tells Bill Burr, he's like, you can't talk to him anymore. Just ask your wife why we can't talk anymore.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
Bill
he thought
Burr's at home, and as soon as his wife walks in, he goes, "Did you fuck Connor?" That was the only time I laughed out loud.
I was laughing. Okay, so this is a quick breakdown, right?
Okay.
For people who have seen it or haven't seen it. Spoilers. So it felt like they were making a movie, and about halfway through, they were like, well, we also have to make sure that we show that Bill Burr's behavior is bad. And then, it's like the second half of the movie I didn't care for. Like the setup, the premise and everything was great. And I liked a lot of the jokes, like when they got fired for the stuff in the car and being the camera recording them in their private conversations.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they were saying, it's all conversations that we've had in a group many times. And so it's, I don't want to say it hits close to home, but I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. It was a good movie, or a relatively good movie. But my biggest gripe and my biggest issue is when movies do this. They create friction where there should be none for the audience to watch and take issue with, so that it elicits a response from them, which drives engagement.
Yeah, okay.
So Bill Burr was being antagonized by the principal of the school.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
She was antagonizing him the entire time.
Okay.
And he was butting against it. And his wife made him out to be like this gigantic villain.
Okay.
Because he gets too mad or something.
Because he called her a C word.
Well, no, this was after. It was after the party.
Okay.
Remember the big party thing that they threw?
Oh, yeah.
The silent auction?
Yeah.
That auction bit was funny, though. How he's sitting there getting way too into it. I mean, it's all like dad humor in the first place. It's like, it's pretty corny. It's a corny movie. But when the wife kicked him out, I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, dude, what do you mean? You have to get out of here. This is not just your house. I want you gone. That type of stuff.
Okay.
I can't stand it. Can you imagine going home, you pissed off Bobby, and Bobby tells you, get out of this house. Go sleep somewhere else tonight. Pack your stuff and go. Does she have the power to do that? This is not a men versus women thing. This is two people. Say if you were married to your husband and your husband came home and told
I have
you,
a husband?
in this scenario you have a husband.
You have the husband.
Okay. No, you can't do that, husband. Like, that's my thoughts, right?
Yeah, but I saw what they were doing 5 minutes into the movie.
Of course.
But because I realized what they were doing, I didn't give a shit,
Oh, yeah, but
yes, I realized that it's portrayed that in that particular scene you're talking about, that it seems like the wife is being unfair to Bill Burr. And I think pretty much everyone who's paying attention to the whole movie will probably have the same reaction as you and me, but it's like that this is the way the movie was written.
Right. And that's what I'm taking issue with. I'm pointing it out.
Okay.
Like, that's the purpose.
Yeah.
Is like it upset me how,
well,
I don't know if it's a modern society thing. It's like they kept making fun of woke people the whole time, and I kept feeling like this was just a movie that like some woke people wrote for the purposes of showing, look, it's not good to be like Bill Burr. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like Bill Burr probably had a big hand in the writing, and I haven't seen all of his stuff, but he seems... The stuff I have seen, it seems like he is a very fair person, and he is very self-aware.
He's just very, what's the word? He's just obnoxious, that's all. Like, he's just obnoxious. He doesn't even really have...
He seems like he's a very fair person.
Are you being facetious?
No. Like, I honestly think he's a fair person.
No, I do too, but your tone and being Kevin, I'm like, I don't know if he's trying to make a joke.
But yeah, like... I feel like they were definitely constructing this movie in the first half as like Bill Burr is right and all these, you know, quote unquote, just a side note, I hate the word woke.
Yeah.
These quote unquote woke people are all dum-dums, but then the second half of the movie kind of goes in a different direction.
Right?
And
it's weird.
I mean, and then you see where they're going, it's like, okay, whatever, I guess.
That's the issue I took is like the second half of the movie it contradicts the first half of the movie. Like, he shouldn't have been kicked out of his house. It could have turned into a wife and husband and group of friends versus the school lady. You know, it could have turned into one of a billion different things. It didn't have to turn into old man.
Well, he wanted to... like I said before, I do think Bill Burr had a hand in writing this, and he wanted it to be a movie about fatherhood, right?
Yeah, but there's very little about fatherhood.
But that's beginning... that's what it starts on.
Yeah, the movie does like a twist.
And that's what it ends on as well.
It goes for the old Team Triplehorn twist.
And actually...
a bait and switch.
And actually, probably my favorite thing about the movie was... the music at the beginning. It starts out with some Judas Priest, and at the end it ends with some The Kinks, and I like both those bands. But anyways,
I definitely didn't pick up on that.
Okay.
I did get the NWA bits in the middle.
Yeah.
I got the rap stuff.
But basically, Bill Burr's character learns that you don't need to fight every battle, right?
Yeah. Like
at the very end, when that guy on the bike comes by, he's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't throw a baseball with that baby strapped to your chest. He doesn't fight the battle. He just says, okay, whatever, and just moves on with his life.
I was saying in that instant, though, right? That guy saying something was probably wrong, but also he shouldn't have had the baby strapped to his chest playing baseball.
I wouldn't have done that.
Right? Like, yeah. So like that's what I'm sitting there thinking is...
But, I mean, people do retarded shit. Sorry for using the hard R again. With their kids, you know, every day. I see it every day. You hear about it. You read about it. And at the end of the day, there's just nothing you can do about it. You just got to move on with your life.
Yeah. That's basically what I said. So, yeah.
So
okay.
I guess
we're in agreement.
We're in agreement.
There's no turmoil today, folks. No turmoil today.
I mean, the movie is humorous at some points, but like I said before, there was literally only one time I laughed out loud. So
when you're singing rap songs in the car, do you use the N-word?
I don't really know
lyrics. Like, you don't know too many lyrics for them song.
Do you remember Nate, or whatever his name is, on The Office, Dwight's assistant?
Yeah.
And he says in one of the episodes, I had this thing where I'm hard of hearing or something. I forget exactly what it says. Yeah. But I basically have that too, and I can't hear lyrics unless
on any song,
unless they're like perfectly clear. Like Weird Al does a good job of making sure
he speaks very clear.
His lyrics are very clear, but basically anything else, I can maybe only pick out, every so many words. So I basically am never singing along to a song unless...
Is it just like a cacophony of sound and it's just deafening?
not, I wouldn't say a cacophony. I mean, I can hear kind of, I mean, I can hear syllables and then pronouncing the words. It's just like I can't really understand what they're saying.
So you have a. So
I don't know what you call that.
So I know what you call it. We changed the name of the podcast to "See No Evil, Hear No Evil."
I mean, I do have tinnitus, and that doesn't help, obviously, either. But so yeah, I wouldn't be able to listen to a song like and just right away hear what they're saying. I would have to read like the lyric sheet or whatever.
Okay. Well.
So to answer your
Kevin, the name of this episode is
so that was a long
fun.
answer. That was the long answer to the question. No, I don't sing the N word because I have a hard time hearing lyrics.
I'm probably guilty of it, but the majority of the time that we listen to music is like around people, and there's usually a lot of curse words in most songs that would use it anyway. So I probably can't sing them in public, just in general.
Yeah.
But I do love...
Do you listen to a lot of songs with the N-word, Caleb?
Well, I love Busta Rhymes, and pretty much. Wu-Tang.
I was listening to MC Chris on the way over here. I also, while we're on the topic of music, I also listened to a sweet new band that my YouTube algorithm recommended to me called Gravestone. They had a pretty sick new album called Hollow Be Thy Grave. I liked it a lot. If you're into death metal, I recommend them.
Halloween.
Dude, Erica was telling me about this haunted house called like McKinley Manor or something. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I don't know where it's at, but apparently to get into the haunted house, you have to sign a waiver that says like they can like physically torture you basically.
That's probably part of the show.
No. Like according to what she was telling me, like they can literally like waterboard you or like rip out like your fingernails or teeth or something. But if you stay like the whole like 8 hours or whatever in the haunted house, you win $20,000.
So what I would do is I would turn around and say, "Here, I need y'all to sign this waiver, and I'm taking my gun with me."
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean?
I was like, okay, so if they get to do that to me, do I like get to like beat the shit out of them if they try something?
Right?
Yeah.
Is that what did she say though? Was that?
She didn't know. She didn't know.
Because straight up, even if I couldn't take like an actual weapon, I mean, if they're holding on to something, I'm gonna be taking it from them and hitting them with it.
What she was telling me is that no one has ever been able to stay for like the whole time to win the money or whatever. But it's so dumb because if they rip out your teeth and pull out your fingernails, that's way more than $20,000 worth of medical bills. So what's the point of even doing it? You know?
I feel like there's no way.
We're
gonna have to look that up.
What I think it is that just some dudes get massive boners torturing people, and they're hoping to be able to torture people for free. So this whole time they got you strapped down, waterboarding you. They probably have huge boners.
Some hostile shit.
Yeah.
Like people pay, and then the money that they pay to be there. See, that would be the thing, right? Is get like 8 WWE wrestlers and send them in there. And then, see if it plays out the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make sure all those employees, though, have signed their waivers because...
Exactly.
They may have faced scaredy little girl, but have they ever faced a dead man?
Where's Art when you need him?
I feel like Stone Cold Steve Austin walking through the haunted house. All right, Ghost, where are you? Come on out. Speaking of WWE, because earlier I said WW and I paused. Do you still say WWF?
No, I still say... Not that I talk about it a lot, but I say WWE.
Dude, we watched wrestling a lot in the Attitude Era and before, like in the early 90s, all the way through the Attitude Era. And when they made the change... Now, I'm one of those kids that grew up in the 90s, Google searching WWF and getting the World Wildlife Foundation and being disappointed. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure many young children were, yeah.
I type in, Stone Cold WWF, and it brings up a picture of, oh, this is Stone Cold Panda. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not the one I was looking for.
That's not the Texas rattlesnake.
Yeah. and
Brings up a picture of a real rattlesnake.
yeah. Basically, I'm a WWF guy, and it's so weird when they made that change. Such a minor gripe to bring up as like a side thing, but
Yeah, that never really bothered me, but I haven't been like a huge wrestling fan in a long time.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
Of course, Undertaker, bro.
Really?
As a kid, I was always drawn to
The macabre.
No. to the ones that had like real character, right? Not just.
It's
Not
funny
just-
you'd go Undertaker.
Not just like regular guy wearing a speedo. My name is Jack Johnson. I do a
I'm Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
I do a suplex or whatever. You know what I mean? Like Underdog, he was a real character. Sting with his face paint, the Ultimate Warrior.
Wait, so you're saying... Oh, you mean you like the theatrical character. Yeah. Okay, you said real character, and I'm thinking like Stone Cold, you know?
Yeah.
I'm with you. Undertaker was one of my favorites in the beginning. I would have said Undertaker was my favorite until The Rock came. And I guess Shawn Michaels at the same time, like Diesel, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. Never was a Triple H fan. Still don't like Triple H. But Undertaker, what was your favorite version? And why was it Purple Undertaker?
Well, I definitely didn't like the biker Undertaker. I thought that was
American Badass?
Yeah, American Badass. Not a fan.
Because you didn't like Kid Rock?
I just thought it was stupid. Why would he go from this, basically cool ass character to just some redneck biker?
When you're playing a character, as long as he has, you got to reinvent. You got to reinvent.
Well, didn't he do that because his daughter was scared of the Undertaker or something?
Ooh, I don't know. I actually don't know that. Wrestling fans in the comments, let us know because I don't know that.
Or just Johnny in the comments because you're the only one that posts. Let us know. Google that for us real quick, Johnny.
There was a guy at GameStop who would come in with his daughter. Okay. And his daughter always had on the Purple Undertaker shirt, like from the 90s. And she probably was like, I don't know, 11, 12 maybe.
Sounds like a cool little girl.
And she would always come in with that shirt, and I swear to God, it was like that was her favorite shirt, because like every time they came in, she was wearing the same shirt. And me and Andrew made a comment on it one time. We were like, dude, you notice she's always rocking like old WWF shirts? And it's always Undertaker. Like, it's always Undertaker. And
that's when you realize that the man bringing her in was the Undertaker.
Nah, he was like 5'8".
Okay.
But I don't know. Like, I feel like with my kids, I want them to enjoy wrestling like I did. But
well, Penny's a girl, and they're not drawn to wrestling as much as boys.
The theatrics. I don't think she would care for like the Attitude Era. She might like some of the diva stuff. They're not even called divas anymore. Like, well, maybe they are. I don't know. I don't even know if they're called divas. That's how little wrestling I watch.
I never cared for lady wrestling ever.
Why? Just the misogynist in you?
Well, do you know much about the WNBA?
What, like individuals?
Well, basically the
I know Brittany
WNBA
Griner
is like completely subsidized by the NBA, right?
Okay.
The WNBA, as far as I know, does not make a profit.
Okay.
And part of the reason for that is just that professional women's basketball is just not as entertaining as men's professional basketball.
You're speaking definitively.
Yes, definitively. WNBA does not make a profit. Therefore,
wait, no, I was talking more about it's not as good when you said it wasn't as good.
Therefore, more people are entertained by the NBA than the WNBA, right? Because the NBA does make a profit.
Yeah.
And I felt like lady wrestling was basically
in the 90s. That was
basically
true.
The same. They're just basically doing the equivalent of layups.
In the 90s, that was true, but it's kind of not like that anymore. Like, the women sell, like, just as much, or as far as I know, I've heard wrestler ladies say that. They're like, there was one, was it AJ Lee, when Stephanie McMahon was like, oh, women rights or whatever, and she was like, oh yeah, women rights, maybe you should pay us as good as the men because we sell just as much merch. And Stephanie was like, oh, you bitch. And it wasn't kayfabe, you know what I mean? And then AJ Lee quit the company like right after. But I'm pretty sure there's like, it's always going to be true that there will never be a girl who can do what, say, something like Rey Mysterio or Eddie Guerrero did, But I don't know why I just singled out two of the Mexican wrestlers,
Okay.
but they were incredible, But they have other strengths, and so.
Like what? What are their other strengths? Their other strengths.
So I don't know too much about the new people.
Okay.
I've seen like a few bits with them and all that, but I do remember like in the 90s, like Trish Stratus was one of the early like women who was just like all out. Lita and Trish Stratus were both like go-getters. They were hardcore,
Well, in the Attitude in the Attitude era, the women matches were basically all about TNA, right?
Yes, but not with somebody like Lita. Do you remember Lita?
No.
Lita basically wore like long parachute pants and like tank tops, you know what I mean? But like full tank tops, not crop tops. And Trish, she let it all hang out most of the time. But she also fought in like pants and like, shirts. But they weren't the softies. Hell, do you remember Luna? Was it Luna Vachon?
Dude, I don't know none of the lady wrestlers.
She was like back in like early 90s, and she was the white lady with like the blonde hair with the braids, and she looked nasty. She was always like, You don't remember her? She was awesome. She had like a spider web tattoo on her head or some shit. But she was really cool. And then Bertha Faye. Do you remember Bertha Faye?
Dude, when I say that I don't know none of the lady wrestlers, I mean that literally.
She looked like the female Bam Bam Bigelow.
Okay.
And so
I do remember him.
So yeah, it was basically the same. But they did bits. I haven't said the name Bertha Faye in 20 years.
I can't believe you remembered that. It just stuck there in your
Dude,
brain.
yeah, I was watching. Okay, this is a funny bit. I'm watching Old Dads, and audience, please let me know in the comments if you can relate. I'm watching the movie, and then I get in my head, there's like, a tangent going on, and it was like, what were the name of those two wrestlers that would always do the arms, Now I know that it's the Bushwhackers.
Okay.
But as I'm watching the movie, my brain is like, yo, you like this movie, just pay attention to the movie. Quit trying to think of these wrestling tag teams.
Was your ADHD flaring up?
Yes. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, watching the movie. Come on, quit thinking. But then I start getting like, well, I have to know what was the name of the wrestler. So I finally suppressed it. And I told myself,
Just pause
I don't
the movie,
need to
dude.
know. I don't need, because it's the truth. I don't need to know. At that moment, I don't need to know.
That's true.
And so I told myself, just wait. It'll come to me later.
But what if
someone broke in? They're like, quick! What's the name of those wrestlers that used to do this?
Honestly, that could totally be a sketch.
You better fucking tell me right now. What was this one's name?
I actually like that a lot for a sketch. We'll film that later.
I swear to God, your family's hanging off the cliff right now. The only way to pick them up is to do the rope like this. But you have to know their names. And so, me and Angie used to do that bit when we would leave GameStop. I always talk about that, though. We do have a new guest coming out, though. We found an old buddy from GameStop days, old Gil.
Yep, shout out to Gil. He was probably there, and my last year there was 2009, so he was there at that time. But yeah, he was always a cool dude to me.
Yeah, he's worked many jobs in the nerd industry, and he's gonna join us, or at least he said he's gonna join us. I'm gonna have to message him. I have two Gils
He was at Texas Toys for a while, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
And then he
seeing him
worked
there.
for David, Collector's
did?
Planet.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was before or after the name change, but he was there for a while.
What's Collector's Planet called now? Are they even open?
Old back hurt. Because David hurt his back.
Okay. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's an if you know, you know. No, that actually, speaking about him, I really liked going to Collector's Planet like all the time. It was my favorite place to go when we were buying comics. Like, you remember we used to buy comics there.
Yeah, sometimes he would not put stuff in my box that I explicitly asked for, but...
Yeah, I see. I never had that issue because, like, I don't know why. I just didn't have that issue. Maybe the books you were getting were like super rare and hard to find books. And
No.
he's like, it was Thor.
No.
It was Thor and
I feel like
Avengers.
I've told this story before. Maybe it wasn't on the pod.
You definitely told me before.
But remember when there was that multi-part series where... What was it called? Like The List or something? Where Norman... Where Norman Osborn was going after all these people he wanted to kill.
Yeah.
And there was... On one of them, he actually does kill the Punisher. And I had specifically asked him, I want all these ones that come out on the list. But for some reason, when the Punisher one came out, he didn't have one for me. I'm assuming because people were coming in wanting the death of Punisher. I was like, fuck, I was here before all these other dudes. Why you jipping me on this?
Yeah. Well, jipping is racist.
Is it really?
Gypsies.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Who cares?
So I never had that issue. I had heard a lot of people telling us about him being like garbage and all that, and I was always defending and everything. The thing that finally turned on me, I told you about that when we went and did the drawing stuff.
Yeah.
Marty had asked me to go do, so I go and do, I guess for the audience. So y'all tell me if y'all would be offended.
Okay. This was free comic book day, right?
Yeah, Marty was working there, and he had messaged me and was like, yo, dude, you want to come set up a table and do, like, your artwork and, like, draw pictures for people? And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds cool. And he goes, and you can bring, like, your other stuff, and you can, like, sell it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So, like, I took all my little... I used to draw, like, sketches and stuff when my eyesight was, like a little bit better. And I bet I could probably still draw, but just I don't know if I have the patience because it would take me a long time. But I would draw out all these pictures, whatever, nerd stuff. And I set the table up and I was like, okay, we're going to sell them. And when I get there, the owner of the place was like, what are you here? You here for, you going to do whatever,
The aforementioned David.
Yeah. And he was basically kind of like, oh, well, who are you? What are you doing here? And it is true. Like, I'm nobody. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, there's miscommunication between you and Marty. Because Marty comes over in front of him and he's like, nah, dude, this is what I told you. I told you they're going to come set up. And that gives you more stuff for people to look at. And, and you're not having to pay these dudes to be here. And these other artist guys, you had to pay to be there. And so I was like, look, dude, it's cool, man. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'll take off. Like, it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. And so he had David had kind of taken this mentality like, no, whatever, just go set up, whatever. And I was kind of like, so I look over at Marty, and then there was another guy that was working there at the time. And that other guy too was like, no, don't worry about it, dude. Just go set up. And I'm sitting there like, yo, homie, I don't want to be somewhere where I'm not wanted. Mm-hmm. Like it's not an issue for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not an issue for me to just take off. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I said, me sitting here and listening to him whine is going to be an issue. And so they were like, no, look, it's cool. I'll go explain it to him again. So I sat down. We got comfortable. People came up, bought some, some artwork and bought some stuff. And like, as we're getting towards the end, everyone's kind of starting to leave and wind it down. And so I said, okay, you know what? I guess we can take off. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I feel like we're already overstaying our welcome. Okay. And so I go and I'm paying attention to one of the artists that he paid to be there was doing something, drawing a picture or something. So I was watching, and then they were supposed to do like an art contest. And that's what they kept saying was an amateur art contest. They kept saying amateur, amateur, amateur. And I guess I'm amateur. I'm not professional. I mean, I've sold plenty of artwork, but I'm not professional.
Yeah, you still count as amateur.
Yeah, and so I'm like, no big deal. And then he came over and he's like, hey, are you going to enter the amateur contest? And I said, no, I do this for a living. You know, I'm literally showboating. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, dude, I do this for a living. Like at the time I was selling artwork at conventions and stuff, like not for a living, but like that's where I was making like, you know, it's my side hustle.
He was making some money to go to Golden Corral.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I could go full force. But he said something, and I reiterated. I said, no, I'm not drawing in a kitty contest. And then and he got all butthurt, and I was like, you can be mad, and just sitting there like eyeballing him, like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like,
what are you doing? Let the kids play in their little art contest. I just didn't understand. I don't know if he was having a bad day, or if like I think that's probably what it was. Is like he had a plan. And the plan didn't go to his... That's what it was. Reality didn't meet expectation. And as a result, he got pissy.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, yo, homie, I brought you... When we had Nerds, we brought him... Marty literally took every single HeroClix customer to him when we closed. Every single one. Mm-hmm. And I know that was just a way for them to get HeroClix, but it doesn't matter because he's making the money.
Yeah.
And so, and hell, when we had the store open, we used to go buy bags and boards off of him whenever we didn't have any. And so to me, it was like, homie, we brought you a lot of business. In the time that you knew me, I brought you a ton of my friends, a ton of customers, everybody from Nerds we would send his way. And I just felt like it was unwarranted. And so...
Sounds like he didn't know how to deal with his anger properly because he didn't watch Old Dads.
It's funny too because when we met Jen, her uncle didn't like him, and he would always tell us, be like, no, he's not a good guy. And I was always like, what do you mean he's not a good guy? He's like the best guy. And we would always be like, oh no, I recognize your right to dislike this guy, but you know, I like him, he's all right. And I still think he's probably all right, just we might have caught him on a bad day, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I just don't think that they operate the same now as they did before. I think it's like, I don't even remember the name.
Where are they even located now?
I have no idea. But
if you're still watching, Google that for us and let us know in the comments.
No, don't. I don't have to go telling people. Nah, I honestly, he wasn't a bad dude. I know that this is one of those insider conversations. Like if you don't know the guy, then how are you gonna know? But if you're put in that situation where you're made to feel less than when you were invited, it's kind of like, you know, I felt justified.
Speaking of knowing the guy, when are you finally gonna get Benny up here? People have heard so much about him lately.
I'd like to get him.
We want to talk to the legend in person.
The man, the myth, the legend. I'd like to get him next time he comes. I'll bug him again. Maybe we should save the Israel and Hamas stuff for Benny.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have some hot takes. I totally forgot. We haven't talked about the videos we've been doing in forever, dude. So we need to talk about those.
Okay.
So let me
I'm
pull
biting
up
my lip skin.
YouTube.
Last week we did the new guest announcement. So that was the previous week.
Let me just see here. Short.
Well, last Monday we didn't talk about it. It's
Well, so we did the one with Becca, aka Girl Gilla.
And y'all let us know in this episode if y'all liked that episode.
So that was a short we did with her after the fact. I thought it was pretty funny. Caleb had something. What word did we use? Was it like engorged or something was swollen?
Yeah, swollen.
Let's see. We did the one where I didn't know.
Biting my dry lip skin.
We we did the one where I don't know where babies come from. I had been trying to push that one for a while.
How did it end up doing?
And Caleb wanted to put a disclaimer at the end to let people know that it was a bit and not real. But we did not do that, obviously.
Wait, are you talking about... no, I wanted to do that if we filmed it during the podcast.
Yeah, originally I wanted to do that bit during the podcast, but nobody in the podcast mentioned anything having to do with babies, so we didn't do it. So we had to do that after the fact.
You could have just butted in and talked about,
I wanted to make
hey
it
guys,
seem
y'all hear
natural,
about babies?
I wanted to make it seem natural. If we had done it like that, Caleb was wanting to put in a disclaimer to make sure people knew that that was a bit and not for real.
Not necessarily a disclaimer. What I wanted was like a bow. More akin to a bow. Like a thank you.
Okay.
As in, you're welcome, audience, for the bit.
I thought it would be obvious that it was a bit, but...
Well, no. The purpose of the bow is not to make it clear that it was a joke. The purpose of the bit was to say... Audience, we're sorry that we interrupted real conversation for something that was fictional. Okay. That was the issue that I took.
Okay. I guess I wasn't clear on your issue at the time, but...
There's a saying around Team Triplehorn is, no one ever listens to Caleb until I have to slow it down to their speed.
Let's see. We did the Pokemon card one. That one did not do as well as the... what was the one we did before that?
The Final Fantasy?
The Final Fantasy one.
Why don't we play a game here on the show called Why Did the Short Not Do Good?
Okay.
And well, I guess me and you usually play that in our group chat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for that one it was probably that we had a child in the photo.
Think so?
I think so.
So Penny ruined it for us.
I think that having a child on there is what hurt us. Same thing with the baby and the milk, the breast milk.
Yeah.
I think having the logo of Cocoa Pebbles, hell, us even saying Cocoa Pebbles, the algorithm is going to be like, yo, dog, don't be talking about Cocoa
totally
Pebbles.
Screwed now. You said retarded, that's strike one. You said Cocoa Pebbles, that's strike two.
I'm pretty sure they said inward in there like 40 times. That one said gypped.
I think that was pretty much all the last videos.
We can go over some
what we can do is we can go over the videos because we're filming this early, right? So people will be seeing this 8 days after we film it. So we can tell you about the upcoming videos.
What was the one I proposed today?
There was this one we were doing where Caleb levitates in the air. That was a really difficult shot to get, but
well, when you're born with
levitating
powers.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one I had suggested earlier?
We were talking about...
Oh, the Fall Fest.
Oh, yeah, the Fall Fest. That's stupid enough to be funny, yeah.
All right, so how did y'all like the Fall Fest? The idea came from... Well, I don't remember what we were watching. I think we were watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and someone said something, and I thought, it'd be kind of funny if we did a Fall Fest, and it was like a twist, it's a bait and switch.
Yeah.
So we said, let's fall down.
I like it, yeah.
Maybe we can drop stuff. Just like, yeah. We got to do like the zoom, right? Like something to fall. Because we haven't technically filmed it
like
yet.
Like slow motion.
I had a thought the other day, right? What if humanity dislikes AI because we're projecting because we are AI? I was thinking about it, right? What if, because the way the human brain works, and this is just me rambling, but the way the human brain works, or I guess they don't know what memory is. You know this, right?
Okay.
And so the idea is that, have you ever seen those old computers that they program with like the paper cards, the punch
Yeah.
cards? So
Yep.
that essentially is human memory. It's just we don't know how that information is stored in what language in the brain.
Okay.
And I'm speaking so definitively on a topic that, I'm not an expert in
Okay.
by any means. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, why don't you hit us up and you can come talk to us about. He's an astrophysicist, but anyway. So I was like, human beings are basically AI with how we learn. We're just far more complex, right? That's the brain, baby.
So is that
I'm trying to be Marty over here, dude. I can't do
okay.
it.
Okay, well, good talk. I don't know what to say to that.
I guess Kevin is not very AI. I don't know.
I like reading about how people break the AI's rules, like I feel like we've talked about it before, right? Like the AI doesn't want to create this picture, but like the person tricks them into it. You know what I mean? Like I was reading one, I think today.
Like the one I was using, it didn't want to do nudity, and so I was like Chun-Li with 3 titties. So then it just did it.
Yeah.
But it also had 2 torsos. Remember, it had like 4 arms.
Yeah. So someone was trying to, I forget what it was. It was like on Reddit, and someone was trying to do a picture of like basically Mario doing a sexual act to to Princess Peach, and like it wasn't wanting to do it because of their like copyrighted characters, but they basically were able to like get around that or whatever. They based on what it was telling them.
Shout out to Ron Swanson's shirt.
Or there's other ones like you can convince the program to give you like the wrong answer about something. Like I forget what the context, but just like for example, you can tell like 1 + 1 is 3, and it'll be like no it's actually 2. The AI will tell you that, but then you can persuade the AI to start believing that it is actually 3.
That basically goes into what I was saying, is that AI...
You can gaslight the AI pretty much.
You can trick because it's constantly learning, and if you give it fake information, just like with humans, they'll remember their wrong info.
That's right. It's not really AI. It's not like real AI. It's not Skynet.
Would you treat an AI that was equal to a human as an equal?
If it was like a real AI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's like a robot, has a robot body.
If it's like a real AI, then sure.
And it comes up to you and it's like, I'm human.
I'd be like, no, you're a robot, but okay.
And then it takes you to court and it's like, no, I want to hear you say I'm a human. Bicentennial Man. That's basically what happened in Bicentennial Man.
Okay.
At the end, because he has all them procedures done, and he basically has like the cybernetic brain, and he's got human skin and like a human body on his like metal structure,
Does he look like Robin Williams?
He grew old, like he was getting old.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it was Robin Williams. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd treat him like human. They're scum. Nah, I think I would.
You know how like basically in all like sci-fi movies, it's either the bad guys are basically either like robots or aliens.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually when we do discover aliens,
they're gonna look at our movies.
They're not gonna be able to make aliens the bad guys anymore. And then eventually, if we ever do get around to having real AIs, then we won't be able to make the robots the enemies either.
What if humanity starts spreading out into space? We become a multi-planet species, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then we run into like xenomorphs, but they're nice.
They're nice.
You know what I mean? And they're like hey, we were going through the archives. You know, it's the little mouth. And the little mouth is like, hey, we were going through the archives, and why did y'all make these movies about us? You know, this is inaccurate AF because they've assimilated into human culture.
Yeah, like if some aliens showed up and just like accessed all our movies, they would for sure think we were like xenophobic like that.
It's funny you say xenophobic because they're xenomorphs.
Yeah, like I did get that. I did catch that.
I don't know, dude.
Well, I think we can probably wrap up this pod at this point. Not all of them can be 2 hours long like we did for the extra special anniversary
For
episode.
the tangent, we need some controversy.
As always, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, sticking with us this long. And I guess we'll catch y'all next week.